Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing aim of committing a gross of
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amoso.
Welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. My name is Belis Kweta. Thanks for joining us today. And the news making the headlines. Lagos State of Nigeria discharges 541 COVID-19 patients. Madagascar's COVID organics, testimonies and medical caution. Trump threatens to cut China ties over COVID-19 spread. Nigerian federal government may offer more public assets for sale. And Jose Mourinho says, I'm desperate for Premier League return. The news in details come after the break. The governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has said a total of 541 coronavirus patients have been discharged from the state isolation centers. He stated this after 13 patients were released from the Yaba and Lagos University Teaching Hospital isolation centers yesterday. Sanwo-Olu, in a statement, said that of the 13, there were 11 males and 2 females, adding that they had been reunited with their families. 4 from the mainland infection disease hospital Yaba and 9 from Lut isolation centers were discharged, having fully recovered and tested negative for COVID-19 in 2 consecutive readings. With this, the number of COVID-19 confirmed cases has been successfully managed and discharged in Lagos is now 541. Data obtained from the Nigerian Center of Disease Control indicated that Lagos is recording a steady number of recoveries every day. And now moving forward, Nigerian governors ask National Assembly to step down the infectious disease bill. The Nigerian Governors Forum has urged the National Assembly to step down the infectious disease bill to allow for wider consultations with stakeholders. It also set up a 3-member committee made up of Governors Aminu Masari of Katsina, Aminu Tambuwa of Sokoto, and Simon Lalong of Plateau State to meet with the leadership of the National Assembly on the issue. This was contained in a communique signed by the chairman of the forum, Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, after the 8th COVID-19 teleconference meeting of the NGF. The communique stated that following an update from the governor of Sokoto State and vice chairman of the NGF, Aminu Tambuwa, on the proposed Control of Infectious Disease Bill 2020 introduced by the House of Representatives, governors have raised concern with a lack of consultation with state governments who are at the forefront of the pandemic. The forum resolved that the bill should be stepped down until an appropriate consultative process is held, including a public hearing to gather public opinion and concerns. But the House of Representatives has flaunted the NGF for asking the federal parliament to step down the controversial bill. The House accused Governors Aminu Tambuwal of Sokoto State of misleading the NGF to make the call. Reacting to the call, Chairman of the House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Mr. Benjamin Kalu, in a statement stated that the federal parliament does not legislate for states. And now on other stories, home feeding for school children begins and parents collect people's rations. The federal government has officially commenced its house feeding program for school children in Nigeria. It flagged off the program on Thursday at the Central Science Primary School in Kuje, a suburb in Abuja. This came as the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, who kicked off the scheme in Abuja, said the federal government was spending hundreds of millions of naira daily on the program. She described the scheme as the modified national homegrown school feeding program, adding that it was funded by federal government but implemented by the states. Umar Farouk stated that the hunger is a serious byproduct of this pandemic crisis, which is why from the onset the ministry has been evolving strategies to facilitate humanitarian interventions. She said her ministry, in consultation and collaboration with state government, identified the distribution of take-home rations to the household of the children on the program as a feasible method of achieving this directive after exploring several options. And now on news coming from around Africa, Madagascar's COVID organics, testimonies and medical cautions. Amid growing support across Africa and cautions by the World Health Organization, some Madagascans are queuing on a daily basis to receive the purported virus prevention and treating herbal cure, COVID organic. President Andry Rajoelina, in a record to have said the mixture is a remedy that can prevent and cure coronavirus. Tense Mena, a famous Malagasy singer, contracted the virus during her last tour in France. After a week of chloroquine treatment, the singer was treated with the local remedy. According to the presidency, to date, more than 100 patients have been healed after strictly taking the remedy. But it is impossible to verify these figures because hospitals refuse to put out their data. The doctors' unions in the country insist that the chloroquine therapy remains their official treatment, as the efficacy of local remedy against COVID-19 has not yet been proven. Dr. Abel Rhinovoson, president of Doctors' Union in Madagascar, said they shouldn't mix COVID organics with other drugs if they want to know clearly the percentage of its effectiveness. For side effects after drinking the drink, there are people who have had allergies or even diarrhea, and others who feel tired. The WHO warns that the use of traditional remedies can endanger the population. Indeed, by believing that they are having protection, customers ignore preventive measures like social distancing, but hasn't stopped the Malagasy government from donating supplies to several African countries. As still from around Africa, Burundi sacks WHO officials ahead of May 20 polls. Burundi is kicking out the World Health Organization's top officials in the country just days before the presidential election and after the WHO raised concerns about crowded political rallies. A foreign ministry letter seen by the Associated Press says the WHO representative to Burundi, Walter Skazadi Mulombo, has been declared persona non grata and must leave the East African nation by Friday. The letter says 3 WHO experts also must go. The WHO Africa Region Chief Matshidiso Moeti described Mulombo as an extremely competent person and said the WHO was communicating with Burundi to clarify and understand the reasoning for the decision they have taken. Burundi has 27 confirmed cases of coronavirus, but some citizens and others have raised concerns that more exist. Authorities have been accused of downplaying the virus and relying on divine protection, while rights groups have alleged squalid conditions and lack of access to quarantine facilities. Burundi is using virus restrictions to limit election observers, however, telling the Eastern African Regional Bloc that any arriving foreigners will face a 14-day quarantine. The election is stated for May 20th. And now we're going to break right now. When we come back, we get news from the United States of America. Stay with us.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.
Coronavirus is an infectious disease, one which can be spread from person to person.
However, you can protect yourself, the people around you, and help prevent spreading the virus to others if only you
wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds with soap and water or an alcoholic-based hand rub or sanitizer.
Clean and disinfect surfaces. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze.
Practice social distancing. Avoid close contact, that is 1 meter or 3 feet, with people who are unwell.
stay home and self-isolate from others in the household if you feel unwell.
Don't touch your eyes, nose or mouth with your hands, whether clean or not.
You only need to stay in the comfort of your home.
As Celebration TV brings to you life-transforming,
destiny-empowering,
and spirit-uplifted programs for your viewing pleasure.
Together we can save lives and cut down the spread of coronavirus.
This message is brought to you by Celebration TV, revealing Jesus, releasing destinies.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
and the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.
Welcome back. On news from the United States of America, Trump threatens to cut China ties over COVID-19 spread. U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to cut ties with China over its role in the spread of the coronavirus as the global death toll from the disease topped 300,000. Despite fears of a second wave of infections, national and local governments around the world are easing lockdown orders, and they are trying to get stalled economies moving again. But there were warnings on today that some of the world's poorest people remain the most vulnerable, with predictions that 250 million Africans could be infected without urgent action. The United States has registered almost 86,000 deaths linked to COVID-19, the highest toll of any nation, with a third of all known global infections. In an interview yesterday, Trump again accused Beijing of concealing the true scale of the problem after the virus emerged in Wuhan late last year. The US and China are the world's two largest economies, doing hundreds of billions of dollars of mutually beneficial trade every year. Nevertheless, the US president is keen to make Beijing the boogeyman in an election year when gloomy news has become part of the course. And now more updates from the United Kingdom. Reopening NHS services must be safe, unions say. Rapid testing and an adequate supply of protective equipment must be in place when the NHS reopens services cancelled during the peak of the coronavirus outbreak, health unions have said. The unions have put forward a 9-point plan for the NHS to reopen safely as lockdown restrictions ease. And staff working through the crisis should be paid overtime and a public sector pay freeze rolled out, they say. The government has said it is working around the clock to provide more PPE. NHS England has told hospitals to restart routine and non-urgent operations and procedures which were put on hold to create more capacity for COVID-19 patients. But 16 unions, including Unison, the Royal College of Nursing, Unite and GMB, say they wanted the NHS to continue to operate a safety-first approach as the outpatient clinics and operations resume. They say they wanted to avoid a repeat of the PPE supply problems which sapped staff confidence and caused widespread and unnecessary anxiety. Access to readily available PPE was also important as employers in other parts of the economy begin to open up their workspace and source protective kits, staff say. And the Unison's Sarah Gorton, who also cleared the NHS group of unions, said the health sector faced other crucial tests after handling the outbreak. She added that as hospitals get busier and clinics and other services begin to reopen, the safety of staff and patients is paramount. And now on business news, Nigerian federal government may offer more public assets for sale. Indications have emerged that more public assets may be put up for sale by the federal government as the Bureau of Public Enterprises review the 2020 privatization work plan. Reports reveal that work on the review of the privatization work plan is ongoing. The revised 2020 budget has a deficit of 5.37 trillion naira. Minister of Finance and Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, has said the federal government intended to finance the deficit through domestic and foreign borrowing as well as proceeding from privatization of public assets. Director General of the BPE, Mr. Alex Oko, confirmed the ongoing review of the privatization work plan. Although Oko did not disclose whether the review was required putting more public assets up for sale, the need to source funds for the 5.37 trillion naira deficit in the 2020 budget may compel the federal government to seek more revenue from additional privatization transactions. Before the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic instigated the ongoing review of the 2020 privatization work plan, the BPE had targeted the generation of 266.8 billion naira as a revenue for the sale and commercialization of public assets during the year. The sum of 3.9 billion naira would be expected on the transactions, leaving a net revenue of 266.8 billion naira. The bulk of the projection 2020 transactions are in the energy sector, where the BPE targeted 268.3 billion naira. And still on business news, UK announced £1.6 billion bailout for London's transport system. The British government will pump £1.6 billion into London public transport system to restore services and help prevent overcrowding as people return to work. London Mayor Sadiq Khan is now expected to restore full bus and train services, having warned they will be cut further without emergency state support owing to the coronavirus epidemic. The TFL informed the London Stock Exchange on today that an extraordinary funding and financing support package has been agreed between the TFL and the Department for Transport to contribute towards the TFL's forecast funding shortfall. The TFL has seen a 90% drop in the revenue from ticket sales during the 7 weeks coronavirus lockdown as passengers' numbers slumped. It has been paying the sum of £600 million monthly operating bills from cash reserved, but said the situation was no longer sustainable. Yesterday, CAN warned that without government funding, bus and tube services would have to be cut to save money as the TFL tried to balance its books. The government is urging people who cannot work from home to return to work, in an easing to stay-at-home measures, with also calling for people to avoid public transport if possible. And right now we're going to break. When we come back, we get news from the world of sports.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1, that is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1, and Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Coronavirus is an infectious disease, one which can be spread from person to person.
However, you can protect yourself, the people around you, and help prevent spreading the virus to others if only you
wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds with soap and water or an alcoholic-based hand rub or sanitizer.
Clean and disinfect surfaces. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze.
Practice social distancing. Avoid close contact, that is 1 meter or 3 feet, with people who are unwell.
stay home and self-isolate from others in the household if you feel unwell.
Don't touch your eyes, nose or mouth with your hands, whether clean or not.
You only need to stay in the comfort of your home.
As Celebration TV brings to you life-transforming,
destiny-empowering,
and spirit-uplifted programs for your viewing pleasure.
together we can save lives and cut down the spread of coronavirus.
This message is brought to you by Celebration TV, revealing Jesus, releasing destinies.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
and the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1, that is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1, and Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Welcome to Sports News. Jose Mourinho says, I'm desperate for Premier League return. Tottenham manager Jose Mourinho says he is desperate for the return of Premier League action despite mounting concerns about the English top flight restart plan. Several stars including Sergio Aguero, Raheem Sterling and Danny Rose have gone public with fears about resuming the season during the coronavirus crisis. Some top flight bosses are also understood to have expressed concerns about the plan to play from mid-June when they spoke during the League Management Association meeting on Wednesday. But Mourinho said he would relish the chance to get back to work despite the challenges and risks posed by the pandemic. Mourinho was forced to apologize in April after being spotted breaking lockdown restrictions to hold a training session with the midfielder Tagi Ndombele in a public park. Serge Aurier and Musa Sissoko also had to say sorry after the Tottenham pair flouted social distancing guidelines to train together. Despite those incidents, Mourinho is happy with the way the squad have kept themselves together during the lockdown. And in another sports news, Ighalo is rated second richest African footballer in the English Premier League. Former Nigerian striker Odion Ighalo has been ranked second richest African footballer aged 30 and below in the English Premier League. The ranking by the Sunday Times placed Mohamed Salah of Egypt as the richest under 30 African player in the EPL. With a net worth of £114 million, Gareth Bale rated as the richest sports star aged 30 and below, followed by Anthony Joshua, who is the only non-footballer on the list. Ighalo was estimated to have £18 million wealth, while Mo Salah has an estimated £19 million net worth. On the overall ranking, the Manchester United striker placed joint 15 alongside Aaron Ramsey of Juventus, Danny Welbeck of Watford, and Jake Wilshere of West Ham. The striker is estimated to have a staggering £18 million worth with his substantial £300,000 a week wage at his present club Shanghai Shenhua. Reports have it that Ighalo is expected to be 31 years old in June, and his loan at United is expected to end on May 31st, with the club holding the options to make the deal permanent. According to reports, United is contributing £130,000 a week towards the former Watford striker's wages. While awaiting a contract extension at United, the Nigerian player has reportedly been offered a deal worth £400,000 a week by Shanghai Shenhua since joining his childhood club on loan in January. Ighalo has scored 4 goals in 8 appearances in all competitions. And that's the size of the news today on Celebration Television News Desk. If you're just joining us, there is a recap of the news making the headlines. Lagos State of Nigeria discharges 541 COVID-19 patients. Madagascar's COVID organics, testimonies and medical caution. Trump threatens to cut China ties over COVID-19 spread. Nigerian federal government may offer more public assets for sale. And Jose Mourinho says, I'm desperate for Premier League return. On to the photo of the day. Today we see this photo which says FEAR, which is fear, has 2 meanings. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. So once you fear, you have either the choice to forget everything and run, or you can see fear as face everything and rise. So instead of running, I prefer you choose to rise, to face that challenge, to face that problem and rise, because whatever doesn't kill us will definitely make us stronger. You can also share your opinion with us on our social media platforms. On Facebook we are Celebration TV, on Instagram we are My Celebration TV, on Twitter we are at My Celebration TV, and on YouTube it's www.youtube.com/Celebration TV. Never forget that the continuous transformation of our society is a collective responsibility of all. No matter the office you hold as a nation's president, a thought leader, an opinion molder, a character builder, a professional, or as a person pursuing passion, you have the duty to give your all to making the society a better place for us and the generations to come. Play your part and do it with all diligence. Thanks for watching the news today on Celebration Television News Desk. I am Belly Squatter. Have a bright and beautiful weekend. Stay safe.
trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor